Okay, it looks like I'm live now. And I am Seth Hilary Jackson, and I'm going to do some original songs. And why does this mic not look straight? Because it's not. Does it matter? I don't know if it matters. But anyway, this is an unscheduled live stream, because that's kind of what I've been doing lately. Because, that's not good. Oh, and maybe I should put my phone in do not disturb mode so I don't get interrupted by spammers. Oh, it's already in do not disturb mode, so never mind. So I'm going to do, as I said, another unscheduled live stream. And the reason I'm doing these unscheduled is because I kind of gave up streaming altogether last spring when I got sick with COVID-19, and then unfortunately became one of the many people actually, who end up not recovering. And it's a condition known as long COVID or long haul COVID. And, this happens to a lot of people. They estimate like 10% or more of the people who get COVID don't recover. And there's a wide variety of symptoms that people have. It's like really, so scientists still haven't come up with an official definition of long COVID, and a lot of doctors won't diagnose it because it's not an official diagnosis, and there's no universal agreement on what is included and how to tell if it was caused by COVID or not. But one of the most common symptoms is fatigue, and that's what I have. Chronic fatigue, I guess it's the same as people who have the other forms of chronic fatigue. Actually, with long COVID, there are like two types of fatigue, really, where one, like some people, they can't even breathe, and it's like they can't even walk up the stairs without being exhausted. Fortunately, I don't have that, but I do have the type where I'm sleepy a lot. It's hard for me to go more than a couple of hours without taking a nap. Like I can sleep 12 hours or more, and then I get up, and like a couple hours later I need a nap, and then I do that, and and then I need another nap, and it's bad. So it's really hard to plan. It's really hard to schedule a live stream with this. But I'm gonna see. I'm still trying to see how I can do. I'm going to limit my live streams to about a half an hour, because there's another thing that happens with long COVID called PEM, which stands for post-exertional malaise. And that's like any kind of exertion, physical or mental, can trigger like symptoms getting worse. And that can last. So you can do like some mild to moderate or whatever kind of exertion, and that could trigger like a worsening of symptoms for like a week. So this counts. I realized that this is exertion, even though this is kind of fun. It's still exertion. So having said all that, I should start off with my latest song, which I wrote about this long COVID experience, journey. I hate that word. That's like the most overused word. My journey with long COVID, like a journey. It's a euphemism. It's supposed to sound exciting, or I guess it's a challenge, but struggle is better. Battle, but whatever. I just want my head on a pillow, my body flat out on a bed, the afternoon sun through my window. I'm tired of feeling half dead. I thought it would pass like the cold or a flu. I I can't believe the nightmare this has turned into. It's a long haul, an uphill marathon with a lead ball. I have to drag along like an endless climb, a daily grind with all the strength I can find. It's a long haul, one small step at a time. I truly hate the whole notion of learning to live like this. I'm gonna have to keep hoping someday the fog will lift. If you know how I feel, you're not in this alone. You got someone who cares, someone who knows. It's a long haul, an uphill marathon with a lead ball. I have to drag along like an endless climb, a daily grind with all the strength I can find. It's a long haul, one small step at a time. I wish more people were aware there's real danger in the air, and it's a long haul, one small step at a time. Hey, for those of you who have joined, welcome. I can't see who you are. I don't even know what platform you're on, but I can see that you're there. So feel free to type something into the chat box and or ask me any questions, or whatever. I'm Seth Hilary Jackson. Oh, I guess you can see somewhere probably on your screen it shows who I am, but you see my website listed in the corner, SethHilaryJackson.com. What a clever name for a website for an artist named Seth Hilary Jackson, right? So that was my song about my long COVID struggle. So I don't know, should I maybe follow that up with a happy song? A love song? And if so, which love song should it be? Okay, this one is on my album that I put out a few years back. My first album, and I guess it's my only album, even though I have enough songs for several albums, but I haven't actually released them as albums. So I wrote this in Nashville. I don't know if I should tell you this before I play the song, but I wrote it with a guy who was a very successful songwriter with like 9 or 10 Billboard #1 singles. But now you'll think, oh, the reason I like it is because of that guy. So it's kind of like a thing to brag about. I wrote with a guy who had 9 or 10 singles, but then people will hear the song and go, well, yeah, but that guy who wrote it. That's why it's so good. But anyway, the idea was mine. Actually, when you write with somebody like that, you got to bring in, it's got to be almost has to be your idea, because people like that, they can write with whoever they want pretty much, and so it's called writing up. shine. That's just what you do. Such a wonder to behold. You're a diamond, I'll be your band of gold. I want to hold you all my life. Gaze into those two glittering eyes. See the beauty in your soul. You're a diamond, I'll be your band of gold. You're precious, you're a treasure. They say diamonds are forever. That ain't near enough time together for my heart. Your love to me is priceless. It's flawless and it's timeless. Like a ring with a sparkling stone. You're a diamond, I'll be your band of gold. When 10,000 years have passed, this love of ours is always gonna last. Still burning bright when the sun's gone cold. You're a diamond, I'll be your band of gold. You're precious, you're a treasure. They say diamonds are forever. That ain't near enough time together for my heart. Your love to me is priceless. It's flawless and it's timeless. Like a ring with a sparkling stone. You're a diamond, I'll be your band of gold. Your love to me is priceless. It's flawless and it's timeless. Like this ring with a sparkling stone. You're a diamond, I'll be your band of gold. You're a diamond, let me be your band of gold. So for those of you who have joined us, welcome. I can't see who you are, but I can see you're there. And I can't see which platform you're on either. You know, wait, hold on one moment. I will be right back because I have to, take a little break, as they say. Well, I don't really. And while I'm at it, I'm going to remove this pillow from the view. Okay, I am back. Thanks for hanging in there. Maybe I should leave that pillow in the picture to show. This is the room where I'm spending most of my time, and I'm spending an awful lot of my time lying down because, as I mentioned earlier, I have what's known as long COVID, which causes chronic fatigue. So I have to keep like taking little naps all day. Every couple of hours. So let's see, what can I do next? I don't have my set lists planned out because I just don't like to. I don't like to, do the same songs every time. So let's see, I did a dark song. I did a love song. Okay, here's a song, so I mentioned long COVID, and I wrote a song about it. Actually, I like to write songs about the struggles I'm going through. One, as a means of self-expression, but also hopefully that other people who are going through similar things can, feel validated and relate to these songs and somehow feel better about themselves. So here's one. I almost hate to admit this because, it's a kind of interesting story, but at the same time embarrassing. But I wrote this song. I was in a conversation with my therapist. I'm not seeing the therapist anymore, but I've seen many therapists over the years because I have all these, problems with depression and things like that. And so this song came out of the conversation with my therapist. I'm the life of the party, or I'm a loner. I'm an alpha go-getter, or a pushover. I'm a mover and a shaker, or a loser and a faker. It's too much up and down. It's time to find some level ground. I need a little balance, a little middle of the road. A little easy does it, a little steady as she goes. If it's full speed ahead, or lying in bed, or riding in between the two extremes, the challenge is balance. Let me stop for a minute and breathe deeply. Sort out the facts from all the feelings. It's no major intervention. The key is staying centered all through the ups and downs. Eyes out for that level ground. I need a little balance, a little middle of the road. A little easy does it, a little steady as she goes. If it's full speed ahead, or lying in bed, or riding in between the two extremes, the challenge is balance. It's not about going for greatness. It's not about giving up. It's knowing when good enough's enough. I need a little balance, a little middle of the road. A little easy does it, a little steady as she goes. If it's full speed ahead, or lying in bed, or riding in between the two extremes, the challenge is balance. Oh, the challenge is balance. So, let's see, what's next? Should I get dark? Do you want to hear a dark song, or a happy song, or another love song, or a political song? Actually, I have another song coming out I finally set a release date of January 9th, and it is a political song, and I have another political song I was thinking of doing. You know, political songs are always dangerous because if you disagree with my politics, you may hate me and never want to see me again. On the other hand, if you agree with my politics, then maybe you'll become a more devoted fan. So I don't know. But I should say, my wife is from another country, and I was talking to her, and it just suddenly, I don't know why it took me so long for it to dawn on me, because I guess, growing up in America, you're around Americans all the time. But it dawned on me how weird it is that Americans are so concerned and even obsessed with being the world's greatest country. And I was brought up that way, and I suddenly realized, I follow politics really a lot. I'm kind of obsessed with politics, and a big, or maybe even the main reason for that is this: it's such an important part of my identity that, my country is the world's greatest country. And then you get these people who say they want to make America great again. And, I want to make America great, but, there's a right way to do that and a wrong way to do that. And I really can't stand how people in this country think that the answer is to hate and destroy the other side. So I wrote this song. I hope you like it. And if you don't, I hope we can still be friends. All the angry words and crossing swords, where politics is like a sport. The red team or the blue, we all pick a side. The goal is just to make the other team cry. But we're not just some elephants and donkeys. We need to come together for our country. One great nation, that's our foundation. 50 states united, we'll lose if we're divided. This common ground we live on is what we've got to build on. That's how we make America great. We don't need to agree on all that much. Just this land we love belongs to all of us. No talk of spilling blood, no seizing control. Here we settle things at the polls. We wave our flags and sing our songs of freedom. It's time we start to act like we believe them. One great nation, that's our foundation. 50 states united, we all lose if we're divided. This common ground we live on is what we've got to build on. That's how we make America great. The haters on TV keep on talking louder. They're separating you and me just for their own power, so let's ignore them. We can't afford them, 'cause one great nation So if you're still there, I guess maybe you don't hate me for that. I would love it if you would, say something in the chat so I can say hello. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm kind of limiting these live streams to around a half an hour because, again, my long COVID condition, there's something known as PEM, post-exertional malaise, that if I do too much, my symptoms will get worse, and that can last days or weeks even, and it's terrible. And the worst part about it is I don't know until like the next day. So I don't know if I'm overdoing it, and I don't know until the next day or 2 days later. And then when that happens, I can't even be sure it's because I overdid it. It just could be, like a cyclical, it gets better and worse, just by itself. So this, it's safe to say this really sucks. Here's a song. I wrote this like my 68th birthday was coming. I wrote this before I came down with this illness. I guess it was my 67th birthday was coming up. And, I haven't fulfilled all the dreams, and you never know. You never know how much time you have. So, go for it while you can. But anyway, this song, I don't know if it's as true now as it was before I got long COVID, but I'm sticking with it. A child's birthday is a party with their friends. Mine feels like a countdown to the end. I look back on the distance I have come. There are doors I still want to open up. My body's past its prime, but mostly working fine, and I've still got time to hunt treasure. It's easy to believe that I'm too old to dream, but I'm young enough to know better. The clock is ticking till the day it's not. Well, I'm kicking. I'll give it all I've got. My plans maybe aren't meant to be, but the ray of hope is just enough for me. My body's past its prime, but mostly working fine, and I've still got time to hunt treasure. It's easy to believe that I'm too old to dream. I'm young enough to know better. When all is done and I'm laid to rest, I'll be at peace if I've done my best. I'm on a quest. My body's past its prime, but mostly working fine, and I've still got time to hunt treasure. It's easy to believe that I'm too old to dream, but I'm young enough to know better. It's easy to believe that I'm too old to dream, but I'm young enough to know better. I'm young enough to know better. I'm young enough to know better. So I see some more people have joined us, and I'm just winding down, as I mentioned several times. For those of you who just joined us, I have to limit these streams to around 30 minutes because of my health condition known as long COVID. which creates this chronic fatigue. But you know what? There's a song that I want to do. I haven't done this song in a long time. And this was always the song. This was the song that used to get me invited to, showcases and everything. Let's see if I can still hit the notes. This is a true story. This is actually the oldest song that I still is part of my repertoire. This song has endured over 30 years. Like a veil of gold. There aren't any words. Her face like a tale untold. There's a hunger we share, and she gives me a stare with eyes that could melt the cold. I can see paradise, but her flames turn to ice. She locks up her soul. Gabrielle, Gabrielle, a vision in the night. Gabrielle, Gabrielle, you are the morning light. Gabrielle, Gabrielle, I've got you in my sight, but I cannot take you, cannot break you, cannot shake you, and I can't stand back no more. Try to picture her. Her heart wears a coat of steel. Woman of the world, a mask that can seem so real. I can see in her eyes, underneath her disguise, the fear of a lonely child, afraid of a part deep down in her heart that wants to run wild. Gabrielle, Gabrielle, you're crying deep inside. Gabrielle, Gabrielle, and so you run and hide. Gabrielle, Gabrielle, together we can fly, but I cannot find you, cannot bind you, can't unwind you, and I can't stand back no more. Many years ago, they taught you to be oh so strong. You built a wall of stone, you fought your pain alone too long. Gabrielle, Gabrielle, why don't you take my hand? Gabrielle, Gabrielle, I'm the one who understands. Gabrielle, Gabrielle, your wish is my command, but you won't receive me, won't believe me, won't deceive me, and I can't stand back no more. Gabrielle, Gabrielle, old echoes from the dark. Gabrielle, Gabrielle, still tearing you apart. Gabrielle, Gabrielle, it's not too late to start, but I cannot bend you, cannot mend you, can't defend you, and I can't stand back no more. I cannot find you, cannot bind you, can't unwind you, and I can't stand back no more. I cannot take you, cannot break you, cannot shake you, and I can't stand back no more. Thank you. I'm Seth Hilary Jackson. Hey, I really appreciate you being here. Please, I don't know what platforms you're on, but please follow me and go to my website. As you can see, SethHilaryJackson.com. You can learn more about me, hear more of my music. And as I said, I've been doing just to try to get back into the live streaming thing. I've kind of been doing these spontaneously. It's really hard for me to schedule something with my long COVID fatigue problem because I never know, like, I can schedule it for a certain time, then that time is approaching and I feel exhausted and I can't do it. But I'm going to try to figure out a way, because like I can just maybe take a nap before it's time to go on or whatever. I'm going to try to figure out some way to schedule some of these. But for now, I'm just doing them at the spur of the moment when I have a little energy. So again, thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again.